Welcome to the Homefront Podcast. I am your host, Toree McQueen. I'm a realtor, an entrepreneur, a mom of four, and a bold dreamer, always on a mission to turn nothing into something. Have you ever wondered how all these other entrepreneurs do it all? Can they actually have a successful and thriving business while also having a happy home life? Here, we dig into the real stories from entrepreneurs on how to run a biz and a home life, how to scale and grow, and how to manage parenting and relationships without sacrificing your home life or happiness. After all, isn't that what matters most? Let's get to it. Welcome to the Homefront Podcast, and thank you for tuning in. You guys have no idea how freaking stoked I am that you guys are here listening in on something that I have seriously been thinking about and have legit been passionate about wanting to do for years now. I mean, if this can just speak to one person, I am all for it. So let's get to it. Today, I just kind of want to chat about why the Homefront, who this podcast is for, and what you can expect to find here weekly. Okay, so why the Homefront Podcast? Well, here's the deal. With me and all my closest friends and peers, we're always asking, aside from business, like, well, how's your home front? How's it going? Like, what's it like at home? Are you doing all right? That's kind of how we reference things. Much like in the military, when Army members or U.S. force members are out serving, what's going on in their home front that allows them to be able to be away from home and get the things done that they need done? Same thing with our business, right? So first off, I believe that true success starts in the home, not the other way around. After all, there's no way we can continue a successful business without all the things taken care of on the home front of our lives and our businesses as well. So for instance, while we're out working on our business and showing up, who's in the background behind the scenes helping make it all happen? What investments, time, risks, and sacrifices are made in the process? People always ask me how I do it all. And it's kind of funny. I'm always taken back by that. Although I do wear so many hats. I mean, I'm a realtor, a mentor, a wife, a mother to 4 boys, and I prioritize lots of time for fun with family and friends and my community. I certainly do not feel like I do it all or I have it all figured out. In fact, I feel quite the opposite, guys. Real talk. You want to hear a story? I recently forgot to pay a speeding ticket that risked suspension of my license, which could have gone real south and very well gotten me into a pickle in both business and mom life. Major embarrassment, but hey, it all worked out. And thank goodness we press on. But things happen. And here I am, often feeling like a hot mess express. And to think I'm doing it all just makes me laugh, because I too am guilty of scrolling and thinking other business owners too are doing it all so flawlessly. I'm no Elon Musk, Joanna Gaines, Gary Vee, Oprah, Beyonce, Ashton Kutcher, or Kim Kardashian here. I am just me, running a 6-figure business, going to kids' sports games and birthday parties, living my sweet life. Yet oftentimes, I do feel I am playing too small, yet too scared to scale, in fear I'll be giving up what matters most to me, my happy and healthy home life. Is that just another limiting belief? Well, I truly think it is. And I can't be the only one. And actually, the more I think about it, scaling is the only way for me to make it all work. It's inevitable. But wait a second. So how do these people do it all? We often see their successes, but fail to see the sacrifices and the struggles it takes to be there. Then we're sitting there comparing to their successes, but not their work, struggles, or failures that it takes to get there. Also, why is it that it comes with all these assumptions of work being all us entrepreneurs care about, when oftentimes it may just be the opposite? I wanted to know what was going on the home front of these highly successful entrepreneurs, or even everyday entrepreneurs like us, like me, like you, and share it with you. Gary Vee is a boss. Yet is Gary Vee spending time with his kids and involved in their education or extracurricular activities or things that I feel are important to me? Who knows? Does he even enjoy doing those things like I do? Does he have an awesome wife at home that solely does it all? Maybe he spends lots of time with them and just keeps it private, or does something completely opposite, but it totally works for them. Does it even matter? It doesn't. What I'm getting at is, how can people try so hard to be like him or strive for that without actually looking at his values or his home front and hard work and sacrifice that comes with it. They just aren't getting the full picture. And what about Joanna Gaines? How are her kids getting to and from baseball practice? And what does she decide to get help with versus do herself? Does she have mom guilt like many entrepreneurial women I know, or any mom for that matter? I mean, really, does she even have struggles? The truth is, I'm sure she does. We just don't know. And so we can't compare nor learn to follow these people if we don't know what we're actually comparing to as far as their home fronts go anyway. What's it like for spouses on the home front? I'm so curious about it all because I hear the whispers, yet no one seems to discuss or train or advise on this topic publicly, or not enough at least. I think many entrepreneurs seek out mentorship from what we see in the success of their business and forget to look at the home fronts and gain mentorship on how instead we can run the business around the type of home front we want to have. You see why I think the home front is so important? Well, I know you don't quite know me yet, but here's a little bit of a backstory on why I'm so passionate about business in general. So here's number one: to have the financial freedom and flexibility to do what I want, when I want, with who I want. I never wanted money to be an issue or a reason I couldn't pursue an opportunity to give or to experience. In building my own business, it's like I get to completely create the life I want. I am not capped on income or experiences, and I can take my own risks with each. I can slow down when I want to and grow when I want to, surround myself with the people I want, live the life I want on my terms, and give generously on my terms. I never wanted to be limited by time that the 9-to-5 brings, although that is a story in itself, which I'm sure I'll share later. I love the idea of being measured by the value we bring other people instead of just our time, and having the creativity to grow in ways that bring me joy. The possibilities are endless when it comes to building my own business, and the path of entrepreneurship is ever changing and a constant challenge, which I tend to enjoy. Number two, more control of my success. Who I take mentorship from, who I surround myself with, how I grow in my career, my income, and most importantly, more control of my time for what matters most in whatever season I may be in. Number three, most importantly, I knew I wanted to have a large family to be present with and experience things with, and also work a career that I loved, which means being able to juggle the two in whatever fashion worked best for me and my family. I am so fulfilled by the challenges and creative outlet work brings, as well as what motherhood brings. But my family and my home life has always been my highest priority. I know I can't be alone in this. I also know I could have the most successful business, but so what if I'm alone and depressed or stressing out on the home front, or have to miss out on the joys of raising my boys? I often see people who make millions, but then are completely unhappy with their home life or family life. Well, from the beginning, I've always envisioned having a life full of joy in both. And I think that's possible. I want to truly lead by example to my kids that you truly can create the life you want and have a family and life you love. And don't get me wrong, by joy, I'm not meaning perfect. With joy, there's also pain, and I'm sure we're going to be touching on that also too sometime in the future. But here's the dilemma. Knowing what I envisioned, I never had a problem finding mentors or what I needed in making money for the freedom department. Nor did I have trouble with the control aspect in finding people I could surround myself with that teach me how to control my surroundings to be able to have the mindset to scale and grow. My trouble came when I had issues finding people who truly felt they enjoyed family first, that I aligned with on business and life, and who wanted to be at their kids' community basketball games or school field trips or volunteer in the classroom or whatever the equivalent would be, yet still scale beyond themselves and continue to grow their businesses alongside home. Don't get me wrong. I know there are a ton of entrepreneurs who feel this way and who in fact do enjoy both right now as I speak, but I feel people are not talking about the home life enough and how it impacts true success in my book. Where are all my peeps at? This podcast is for those of you who may be feeling the same or truly love business and the entrepreneurial lifestyle, but also believe that true success starts and ends in the home. Those that aspire to create or run your own business while also having a happy and fulfilling home life. This is for you. We see entrepreneurs all the time ending up miserable, alone, and depressed because money has controlled them and their relationships are tainted. Enough is never enough, and life with their kids and spouses or families is nearly impossible with the hours they've worked. Don't get me wrong, that totally works for some people, a lot of people even, but it wasn't what I was looking for. I like to call this the greatest showman syndrome. And if you haven't yet seen that movie, my gosh, it's a must, and we can all learn something from it. Anyway, I hope this show serves you in a way maybe you haven't been served before on your entrepreneurial journey. Hey there, let's take a brief moment to acknowledge our sponsor. Today's episode is sponsored by eXp Realty, one of the fastest growing real estate companies in the world, cloud-based and built for the future. It empowers realtors to scale in their businesses and lives beyond what a typical local transaction could. This is the company I personally hang my real estate license with, along with my entire team. If you're a broker owner or a realtor like me and want to join in on the fun or interested in learning more about this awesome company, click the link in the show notes or go to my website at toreemcqueen.com/partnerinrealestate. That's toreemcqueen.com/partnerinrealestate. Let's get back to the show. I'm often reading books on business and learning how to grow and scale from mentors across the globe through books, masterminds, podcasts, trainings, all the things. But many of these people are working endless hours, enjoying it even, but not talking about what it looked like on their personal or home life, what toll it took, or did it? Could they be happy? But would I be? What sacrifices do they make to get there? And are they worth it? No one else is talking about it. And get this, it's so different for everybody. How Gary Vee wants to spend his time may be completely different than how I want to spend my time. Or same with Kim Kardashian. Maybe she enjoys spending her time a certain way that could be completely different than the way I want to spend my time. So why do we keep comparing ourselves to these people that are super uber successful in the outside world, but again, we don't really know how that compares to their home life. So again, here I am, just a mom trying to run a business and have a good family life and trying to figure it all out as I go. I want to know how others are doing it all, or doing it all, right? Share their wisdom and share my journey along the way. In the end, we're all human and we're just one person. What is happening on the home front to be able to be as successful as we are? And is it a happy and healthy home front? I guess for me, I define success as happiness being my true profit. Yes, I can make over 6 to 7 figures in my business, but if things aren't right at home, it's hardly worthy of calling it a profitable business. If my business is causing my mental state or my family more stress, then how can it be profit in my book? If it is, I sure don't want it. So each week on the podcast, we'll be chatting about things like what tools, relationships, and systems have we built to support our growth, both in business and in life. What work-life balance or integration actually means. Is it real? Is it possible? Or is it a myth? Different relationships in business and life that keep things going. What social media shows versus what we're really doing. Raising kids and a business, as well as motherhood and parenthood and entrepreneurship. Time freedom and how to maximize and leverage in business and in life. Tips and strategies to growing and scaling your business and your family life. Hiring teams for your business and home, behind the scenes struggles and challenges we face as entrepreneurs, mental health in entrepreneurship and in life, and any other topics that pique our interest. On top of all these topics, in this first season, I will be chatting with other entrepreneurs and asking them 5 very specific, easy, and simple questions, which seems silly, but necessary since no one's really asking. And as they often come with shameful, opinionated comments. I'm curious. Number 1, daycare, nanny, or none? Number 2, who does your house cleaning, your laundry, your cooking, your grocery shopping, your meal prep? And yes, this is a real question, and people really want answers. 3, for your kids, do you do private school, public school, or homeschool? No school? I mean, what are your thoughts on it? 4, what are your and your spouse's roles at home? 5, what is your best piece of advice for parents trying to run and scale a business without sacrificing their home life with their families? I mean, everyone does it differently, so I think it will shed some light on how these 5 questions contribute to success. Yet there seems to be a lot of shame, guilt, and controversy around them. We all may be striving for successful businesses and lives, but I'm hoping I can shed some light on some of the not so sexy things going on behind the scenes here that allow us our own version of success. I'm hoping you can see and relate, and in turn, stop comparing your success to others you see and to what you think you know out there on the socials or what's going on outside of what people are portraying as doing it all. You could take bits and pieces and do it your way, what works for you, and be true to you on your entrepreneurial journey. It sure would be a great honor to hear from all the Elon Musks, Joanna Gaines, Gary V's, Oprah's, Beyonce's, Ashton Kutcher, Kim Kardashians of the world, which is a fun goal of mine one day. But getting started, I want to hear from anyone in business who is working to build their own empire and family legacy at home. Forget the assumptions that we've made from media outlets we see in the public. I want to hear the goods. And I want you to hear from entrepreneurs big and small across the globe so you can decide what would work best for you on your entrepreneurial journey based on what kind of home front you want. After all, isn't health and happiness on the home front what matters most? Well, here on the show, nothing is really off limits, and we treat things as if everything is normal, no matter how crazy it can seem or feel. I'm here to normalize entrepreneurship as this game called life. We all do things differently, and that's the beauty and fun of it. It's often messy, and I want everyone to stop idolizing it or stressing over needing to do it a certain way. I want you to feel that you too can listen to these stories and gain insights and tips that make you feel confident in knowing that you too can create whatever business and life you want, and that it can be focused around happiness and your true profit, whatever that means to you. I'm so stoked you're here on this journey alongside me, and I invite you along for the ride in exploring these real life home fronts. Thank you so much for joining me on my very first episode of the Homefront Podcast, where happiness is my true profit. If you enjoyed today's chat, please take a minute to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. This helps us learn and grow and reach more listeners like you and I. Join me again next week as we drop new stories, experiences, and game-changing tips for your home front. As always, here empowering you in business and in life. Until next time.